Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scarbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is the 9th of October, and it is a full moon. The full moon in the sign of Aries. The Aries moon is conjunct Chiron. Chiron in Aries is the wound of beingness, of actually being incarnate, in separating from source, in our sense of identity. Who are we? Really, I mean, who do we think we are? Kind of energy. And the sun is very close to Venus. So there is the opposing forces of the masculine energy moving out, feminine energy moving in. We have an eclipse coming up. That eclipse is Venus is there, Venus and the sun. There's like a new sense of beginnings. And of course, we're in an October is a 10 month, so it's a month of new beginnings. It's a month of the change of fortune, and so new opportunities will present themselves at this time. And sometimes it's a very small hint as to what is to come, and sometimes it's right in your face, at your feet, on your head. But it is about moving forward to a certain extent in a new direction. Certainly in a new direction in the way that you've been living your life, perhaps a new direction in where you want to put your energy. And so we're all sort of going through that question as Chiron moves through Aries. There's also the energy of, the rights to yourself and defining yourself, not necessarily defining yourself but the way others define you, or society defines you. There's a defiance in being defined, so to speak. And it's a time of self-exploration, really. Self-exploration. We need to, Pluto's going to be in Aquarius soon. The power of the group, and but the polarity point is in the direction of Leo. So yes, it's about the power of the group, but it's also a need not to lose your humanity, your core of your heart, Leo, your creative spark, Leo. I mean, you have a choice to be a creator in the new paradigm, or a cog in the wheel, and your creation actually can become a cog in the wheel. What you give to the collective is an expression of what's deepest in your heart. That's a healing potion for what we face, and what we will continue to face. And I'm at the different side of my life than the young kids out there now, whose their reality is quite stark. And but I remember when my reality was stark. I mean, I was born in the 60s, so the energy of the 60s sort of runs through my veins. And the 80s were very scary. That's when I came of age, in the 80s, the yuppies and all that stuff. But it was a time of acquisition. And actually, the only thing I really acquired at that time was my education, which was great because you can always depend on your education. I can't take that away from you. I had a woman, I lived in her house my first year of college. My mother and father didn't want me living in the dorm, so I lived in this woman's house. She was a professor emeritus in languages. I think she spoke like, I don't know, 7 languages, the Slavic language, Russian. She knew a lot of interesting people. A lot of interesting people would often come to the house. I think she was also, might have been very religious, maybe Russian Orthodox, maybe. But anyway, she was quite a woman, but she had been in the camps. She had been put in the camps during World War II, and she said we were living the life, me and my husband, and we lost everything to the Nazis, and but the one thing they couldn't take was my mind. They couldn't take my knowledge. They couldn't take what I knew. And she says, what you know is the prize, really. They can't take that away from you unless you let them. So she was quite an interesting woman. I learned that from her. But that kind of like, it speaks to me of the wound of Chiron and Aries, Chiron and Aries, you're right to be who you know you are to be. And honestly, who are we? We are divine. We are divine and we are human. We are both. Human comes from the word humus, meaning earth, and mana, meaning mind. We are dirty-minded spiritual beings, guys. That's who we are. So I thought I would do a reading on a couple of the things, a couple of the people in the news. I don't do a lot of political tarot, so I try to do it once a week. So this is your once a week political tarot reading. I want to look at Putin again. I've looked at his chart. He's under a lot of the wheels are grinding to a halt for Putin, but Zelensky's also under a whole lot of difficult aspects. So I'm concerned for his safety. But so I wanted to look at that, and I also wanted to look at Hunter Biden. He's actually been on my mind. I think a month ago I might have done something on Hunter Biden. I don't think it was a week ago. Time just seems to, I don't know, it doesn't do what it used to do. Let's just put it that way. Which is I have my Saturn in Capricorn, so while I'm not a slave to time, I do appreciate at times that you know what time it is, but I don't know. Does anybody really care? I don't think anybody cares anymore. It's just the time that it is, right? It is what it is. Oh my God. All right. So I shouldn't be laughing because we're going to look at Putin. So let's get serious. Well, I mean, Angie, the woman who raised me, my mother, who's still with us, thank goodness, would always say to me, if you're not laughing, you're crying. So you might as well be laughing. I laugh a lot, but I cry a lot too. So I don't know. So we're looking at Putin, where he's at, what's going on with him. All right. So we have the Queen of Swords sitting on her cloud with her sword and the head of a man. This is really Lady Justice in a way that has taken action on her decision. And the decision is off with your head. So he could be away from this world at this point when I'm doing this reading, which is at, let me just look, I will let you know, 11:30 Eastern time on Sunday, what's today, the 9th. Well, the full moon in Aries, um, the full moon in Aries with the Sun and Venus um, in Libra, which is his sign, right? He's a Libra, but he doesn't use that Libra energy to the balance and empowerment of the feminine, or even just general balance and empowerment. It's really more of a dictatorial sort of regime. But he does, he has his, in his chart, he has his South Node conjunct Pluto and Leo right at the top of the chart with Black Moon Lilith right there. This man thinks he is a god. He thinks he is the king of the world, and um, that isn't the direction of his destiny. His direction of his destiny is Aquarius. So he will create an Aquarian um, energy, which we see with the coming together of the European Union. In a way, this war has strengthened their union, and that's not what he wanted to happen. And so, but his North Node is in Aquarius, and sometimes our best of intentions, puts us, does the best that it, despite us, or the best of directions is despite us, or maybe everybody plays their role. It's hard to say. He's a terrible human being, and there's absolutely no reason for him to create the type of horror that he does, not just in the Ukraine, but in Georgia and in Syria. Let's see what's crossing him. The Prince of Cups is the King of Cups. Could be Biden. This could be Biden. Wow. Can you imagine seeing Joe's face on that card? I think the Armageddon comment might have been the line in the sand for Biden. I think that's what that was about. I don't think he did it to scare people necessarily, but I think or maybe he did, but I mean, I think you have to see it for what it is. A point where, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let's see what's at the bottom of this. Failure. He's done. He's failed. He's failed in what he's tried to do. What he thought was going to happen, tried to do. Let's look at the past here. I have the Knight of Wands here. I feel like this was Trump. Big mouth, not that the Knight of Wands is like a big mouth, but the Knight of Wands can be like a true believer, like going and proselytizing or putting the word out, or of the beliefs. This is fire. This is what I believe, my perspective, all of that. And we did have, Trump and Putin have a very interesting chart, because Trump's Mars at 26 degrees of Aries is Putin's Pluto is right there. And there's this energy of like Trump is the like weapon, and Putin is the puppet master in that respect. So I feel like the past was an opportunity to create the kind of whatever chaos, whatever he wanted to create in the United States. It's interesting that at the top of the reading, we have the Empress card, which many readers see as the Russia. And I've always sort of seen it. I've never completely been on board with that that connection, but sometimes it does come up like that for me. To me, it feels more like the divine feminine. The divine feminine is coming in, and I feel like the women, just like the women in Iran, we see it happening in Iran. Women of Russia are not going to allow their husbands and their sons and the men that they love to go into a useless war. They're just not. The women are rising up. The women are rising up. They're done. They're done. We're not doing it the old ways anymore. And to a certain extent, this is the goddess cutting off the head of the king. The women are done. And the thing about Biden is that he does bring in that feminine energy. He's always had women who were very important and influential in his life. He had his mother who lived, I think, into 106 or something. I mean, she just passed away recently, but she was quite old. His sister, who took over after his first wife was killed in the car accident. And then Jill. And then he's had two press secretaries. They've both been women. He's put Ketanji Brown in the Supreme Court. He's very pro-woman. He's very pro-woman. So in a way that, that energy comes in through Biden and helps to buoy this energy of the Empress, of the goddess in her fecundity, Mother Earth. Biden's soul vibration is a 50/5, 50/5. It's the 10 of Cups in the tarot. It's the promise of that we can have the happiness that we seek. That promise is a promise that can be kept and is kept. If you allow it, if you allow the love in, the love is there for you. That's the 10 of Cups. That is Putin's shadow vibration. He cannot experience that. He is cut off from that, and everything that he does really is creating victims and chaos. Victims, 50/5 is Phantom Malkuth on the Tree of Life. It is the place of victims and victimizers. But it's also the place of great healers and a real understanding of the purpose of life on Earth to a certain extent. Let's see what's in the immediate future for Putin. Money, not enough. He's failure and the 5 of worry. He's not good. He's not good. It could be his health as well, his physical health. But certainly he's getting pulled down into that vat of goo that Cash Peters was talking about. If you haven't seen that video, check out. Well, you should check out Cash anyway. I love him. How it's seen from the outside: truce, peace, right? Peace. So this is the Russia and then Ukraine in opposition, and it's stopped. It's stopped, right? Domestic situation. The Princess of Swords. This is not good for him. This is uprising by the young. Uprising by the young. The thing that he fears the most is the people uprising against him, and that's exactly what that card is, and that's exactly what's happening. His hopes and fears, the Fool. I think he would just, the Fool jumps off a cliff, right? Maybe he'll jump out of a building, or maybe like his friend or enemy, frenemy, I don't know, who fell out of the hospital, the floor in the hospital was brought to the emergency room and died. This is the card that came up, but it did come up upside down. So this is the end of Putin, but it's the end of Putin. You know, this whole nuclear thing is like the end of Putin in a bang. No, a big bang. No, it's a small. So he's done for. The tower is the tower. It doesn't have to make us go through this tower moment. It's not like it doesn't have to be a world tower moment. That's not a choice. That's not a choice we need to make. He's going to putter out. As Trump loses his power, so does this guy. We can't give these guys power. We can't give them attention. Putin's going, Trump's gone. Lula will hopefully win. Somebody divine, please send your divine light to Lula down there in Brazil, because Bolsonaro isn't above. First of all, Lula should have won. Lula should have won last time, but Bolsonaro put him in jail, and it was all illegal. And the guy who put him in jail, they said no. I think he got disbarred. I don't know. It was terrible. It's terrible. It was totally, absolutely wrong. But so Bolsonaro is because he has the rainforest, and the rainforest is the lungs of the planet. I mean, he could really just continue to, for some reason, do this Armageddon thing that these right wingers want to do. I don't understand, but I just don't understand that. In general, why would you want to destroy everything? Why would you want to destroy everything? Underneath it all, we have for Putin here, this demise, right? This is the demise. This is the answer, the demise. And what's under it is bravery, the Emperor, so a leader, and the magician. And the magician. The magician can be an energy of manipulation, but it's also an energy of concentration, and it's an energy of being aligned with your divine self, your mind's eye, and your connection to spirit is like a laser. And this, I believe, is Zelensky. Underneath it all is a new kind of leadership, a new kind of higher minded, and yet knows how to get people to do stuff, energy. If we can keep it away from personal aggrandizement and put it towards a raising up of all boats, it becomes a very powerful force. And that is the force that's coming in now. Pluto's going to be in Aquarius, and Zelensky is in Aquarius, and Pluto will be on his Venus and his Sun's. And if he makes it through this war in a couple of years, and so he is going to be a mover and a shaker, in an Aquarian way. So we'll see. But Putin's done. I was going to do 3 people. I did 1. Let's just keep it to Putin this time. I'll pull some more cards on Hunter Biden. I'm going to use a different deck, and I do want to look at Zelensky as well. So how long have I been talking? I don't know how long I've been talking. I'll be back for that. Okay, bye.